And yeah, I'm excited about bringing some ancestral healing work through Family Constellations work. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe you could say a little bit more about that.
yeah. So in family constellation work, we'll work with one person at a time, bringing an issue, but actually others in the group can borrow benefits and also receive healing from one person's constellation. I've even had one teacher tell me that often you can get more from a constellation when you're taking part in one or observing one, and not necessarily the actual issue holder in the constellation. And so basically one person will bring their issue and a curiosity around it, and where they want to be, and also some kind of level of understanding of the family system. And then they will choose members of the group to represent different family members, or perhaps want to represent the issue, like symptoms as well. And in a constellation, it's all about supporting, for example, the flow of love down through the family system, which would naturally happen in a healthy system. But when there's been trauma or things that haven't been processed or included, then it's sort of like it stops. They can sort of stop that flow of love. So it's partly about restoring that flow of love, what needs to happen to bring some resolution and healing into that system. And often as the person with issue holder, it's partly about learning to not carry what didn't start with you anymore, to be able to leave with the ancestors any pain they experience with love, with blessings for their healing and well-being. And actually in family constellation work, we do say the healing ripples back down the family line. It certainly ripples forward in terms of future generations and into our own lives. So yeah, it's a really powerful method developed by Bert Hellinger, who was a psychotherapist and also a priest, and did work with the Zulu tribe in Africa, and realized actually he went there to teach them in terms of religion, that kind of thing, but he felt he actually had more to learn from them in the end. And part of that was the honoring of the ancestors and the importance of the ancestors. So yeah, it's partly about restoring that connection with the ancestors, but also about not carrying what didn't start with you, what doesn't ultimately belong to you. But at the same time, when we're infants, or when we're born into the womb of a mother that's carrying ancestral imprints, we can absorb those imprints into our own nervous systems, into our bodies. And this work's partly about helping to unburden some of that. And there's also potential of working with internal family systems, which also works with the concept of legacy burdens, that parts of us can carry burdens from our ancestors and we can unburden those. And we might also bring in some internal family system work into the group process as well.
Great. And you run separately to what we're doing. You run constellations all the time. I see lots of things come up on your Facebook page about you running different constellations.
Yeah, well, I've over the years I've done it on and off, and we did some online during the pandemic, and we've started again doing some in person again. I'm also in a group in Sheffield, and I started training in constellation work 7 years ago for my own process and training to support others as well. And before the pandemic I was doing days with a group of people through field work, and which is the land community, connected to the land community, and yeah, absolutely love constellation work. And I've also been doing it through the Women's Wellness Circle actually as well. We've been doing constellation work on retreats as well. And it's so powerful and transformative, and insight. It can give us real insight and understanding as to perhaps why we've developed certain symptoms or ways of being in the world, or emotional patterns actually that didn't really start with us. And for my own journey, I really learned how much of my own sort of trauma and imprints and things to deal with didn't actually come from me. So much.
Yeah. I mean, when you say that, something comes about. The more we understand, the more compassion we can actually bring to that whole field, ourselves and our ancestral lines.
Yeah, no, one of my teachers said that, like, if one person in the system can really open their heart to everything that belongs and everything that should have been included and is important, then that can just transform the whole system. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that feels important. I'd like to talk about the dates of these retreats, when they're happening and where they're happening. So the first one we've got is the online Ancestral healing retreat, isn't it? We've got a little
healing workshop on the 1st
online workshop.
July, 2 till 5 p.m. UK time. So that is 9 till 12 Eastern time. And that will be an online sort of mini retreat where we will do one constellation and do, I don't know how many songs we'll do in that time.
Probably just one, maybe two. Yeah.
Time for group sharing. It'll be a 3-hour workshop with us. We'd love to have you for that. Yeah, is there anything else you want to say about the online workshop? That will be on Zoom.
I think that's about it for now. But we will put some links at the end of the video and the end of whatever videos I create from this little chat.
And you can, in terms of paying for that, you can either have that included if you book on the retreat, or you can also pay for that as a separate workshop. Perhaps if you're in America but are not going to make our retreat live and you want to work with us for a short taster and experience and a powerful experience, I'm sure it will be, then you can join us for that, just the online retreat by itself.
Yes, great. And then, of course, 1st of December to the 3rd of December, that's when we have our actual weekend retreat in, not Sheffield, because you said not Sheffield, but you said Derbyshire.
Derbyshire, in the countryside, near it's in Unstone or near Unstone. It's called Unstone Grange, and it's a big retreat centre with land around it, and we will be having a deep dive into these the family constellation work, inquiry, and song. We'll also be doing energy medicine in the morning, and I think you're going to do a dance in the morning.
I'm going to teach something Native American dance called Dance of Life, which was initially given by someone called Sun Bear to Glastonbury, and then it was spread from Glastonbury out to some key people, and there have been some changes over the course of the decades, but I'm going to try to bring us as close to that dance, and this is honouring all the directions, honouring what they call the 7 directions. So I'm hoping to give that as well on one of the days of the retreat, which will be really interesting. And I'd like to teach it to you first, so we've got you.
Yeah, I think I know it, or a similar version of it.
Great.
Something like that on the land, and also at festivals and camps over the years. But no, that sounds great, and I trust we're going to have a beautiful time. I mean, Mike and I are really close friends, and I feel, I'm excited. People are already starting to book on, and the early bird rate ends at the end of July. So if you pay your deposit before then, you can get the early bird rate. And
I think you mentioned
the super early bird rate, and then there's the early bird rate, and then there's the standard rate. But you'll get all that information on our websites, and we would really love to welcome you into this healing sacred space.
And I think we've got a maximum of 26 places. We've got some already booked already, haven't we? So
and it might be a bit less with some single rooms. We'll have to look at the numbers, but there will be a limit to places. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We'd love to chat to you about the retreat and to welcome you to be with us in this, what I believe will be a very sacred and healing space created for you and for all of our ancestors and for the future generations.
That's nice that you say that, created for you and your ancestors. And I think one of the pieces of work that we do within the song, within the chant, within the rune or the prayer that we sing is calling for that support, for that help, for that healing as well. It's like a two-way street. We're going to create a channel through song, a two-way channel of bringing the ancestors in, because we can call for help from the ancestors, and we can then give the healing and the knowledge and the compassion back too. So it's like it creates this circle, this circle that's open.
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah. Looking forward.
Amazing. So should we leave it there for now?